had a pretty good sales week, so let's talk about it.
Won't nobody love you the way they should. Won't nobody check up on you, make sure you're good. Won't nobody check those body tremors for your neck.
Hi everyone, my name is Becky Park and I'm a part-time reseller on reselling platforms like Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, Facebook Marketplace, and I'm also a full-time high school choir teacher. I'm also a mom to 2 kids, I'm married, I sing at church, I do a lot of different things, and I really think that the reason for my bigger sales week in this past week that we're going to talk about is because I was able to achieve some kind of balance. It's really hard to do, especially between reselling and YouTube. Both of those are just huge time sucks. And a lot of times, and I hear this from a lot of other reselling YouTubers as well, a lot of times people's reselling businesses will suffer because that person is also trying to do a little bit too much with YouTube. And I think that I can sometimes find myself in that place where it's like, I'm trying to juggle all these different things. And sometimes I'm just not putting enough attention and energy into my reselling business. And as a result, you get some numbers like what I had last week. Last week also stunk because of the fact that I had like an infected cyst and it was my birthday week and all that kind of stuff. But generally speaking, the more you can prioritize and put your energy evenly, or not necessarily evenly, but the more you can put your energy where it needs to go in order for your reselling business to stay afloat and to also pump out however many videos it is that you're trying to do on your YouTube channel, the better. But easier said than done, right? Like for all of us who are out here trying to do all of the things, it is easier said than done. So with that being said, I don't know, I had pretty good balance this past week. We're talking about the week of September 20th through the 26th. And in these What Sold videos, I will tell you everything that sold in that week, as well as, where I picked up the item, how much I paid for it, how long it took for that item to sell, all that good stuff. So if you love a good What Sold video, I do one every single week, as well as, tips and tricks videos, haul videos, reviews on different products that resellers could use, all that kind of stuff. So if that sounds interesting to you, definitely hit that subscribe button. And if you're excited to see what sold for me in this week of the 20th through the 26th of September, then hit that like button. All right, so we're going to start with Monday, which was September 20th. The first thing to sell, and I think that this is crazy that it sold on Poshmark, was this Medela Advanced Personal Double Breast Pump with an AC/DC. That sounds wrong. Isn't that the band? I don't know, I wrote down AC/DC, but with like an adapter. That sold for $30 on Poshmark. That was my full asking price. It just sold outright. And so I made a profit of $24 on that item. I have had 2 kids. I did breastfeed both children, and I did breastfeed both children while working full-time as a high school choir teacher. And so I actually had 2 breast pumps. I had one that I would keep at home and one that I would keep at work. And this one was the one I believe that I would keep at work, but it's something obviously that I don't use anymore now that I'm a mom to an 8-year-old and a 4-year-old. And I had heard that they could do really well on eBay. Like I heard that people will purchase these just for their motors. And so I went ahead and listed them, was expecting for them to sell on eBay, and this one sold on Poshmark. And in next week's What Sold video, you'll learn that the other one sold on Poshmark as well. The other really funny thing I think about these breast pumps is that, not funny, but informational, I guess. An informational tidbit about these breast pumps is that you cannot sell them on Facebook Marketplace. I did try to cross-list them over there using List Perfectly and was informed that because they are like a health thing, I don't know, something to do with like health and medicine, I don't know. You're not allowed to sell those on Facebook Marketplace. Good to know. The next thing to sell on Poshmark was this pair of Nike Downshifter 8 black sneakers, or like athletic shoes in a size 8. They sold for $32 very quickly after I listed them, like probably within a handful of days. My average cost of goods for that garage sale was $3.75. Those shoes actually cost $5, but everything else that we got, was so cheap that it brought the average cost of goods down to $3.75. So my profit on those shoes was $21.85. Not all Nikes are worth picking up, but the wonderful thing about Nikes is that if you look on the tongue of the shoe, or sometimes for some shoes you have to lift up the insole, they'll have like a little tag from Nike with like the size and stuff, but also the style number. So you can look up the style number and see if the shoes that you have in your hands are worth picking up or not. Most of them are not worth picking up. These ones for $5, they were. And then over on eBay, I had a couple sales. The first one was this pair of Bogs, which is a really great shoe brand. They sell a lot of like rain boots, snow boots, that sort of thing. These were pink with a paisley print. They were waterproof rain boots in a size youth 1 in a classic Tuscany style. They sold for my full asking price of $29.99 within hours of them being listed. So if you've got Bogs at home or any sort of like rain or winter boots, list them now. I had $5.99 into these from a local thrift store that I went to not too long ago. The buyer paid for shipping. And so after all the fees and cost of goods, my profit on that item was $20.24. The next thing to sell was this pair of Carhartt Relax Fit Twill Utility Work Pants in the color dark coffee. They were in a size 36 by 30. They sold for $24.90. That was an offer that I sent out to watchers. They were promoted at 1%. Buyer did pay for shipping. My cost of goods from this particular garage sale was only $1.92. And again, they had these priced at $1. So they're I did get a few other things that I had to pay up for that drove the price of my average cost of goods up a little bit. But yeah, $1.92 for these, amazing. So my profit on those pants was $18.41. On Facebook Marketplace, I had a sale. It was this pair of Torrid boyfriend jeans in a size 20 tall. They were listed for $20 because they did have a few flaws, just like, like small holes where there weren't supposed to be holes. And like, there was this weird, like, white line that went, I don't know, flaws. There were some flaws. So those I had $7.07 into because I had picked them up recently at a Plato's Closet when they were doing, I believe, a 75% off sale. And so my profit on those was $11.39. Torrid is one of those brands that a lot of people said when I did a poll on Instagram, they said that that was a great bread and butter brand for them. It generally is for me too. I picked up a ton of Torrid denim and they're selling through slowly. I do think I have them priced a little bit on the higher end, so they are taking some time to sell, but I'm confident that they will soon. On Kidizen, I sold this really cute jacket by the brand Tiny Tilla by Avon. Not sure what any of that means, but it was this brown Sherpa line jacket and it was so darling. Someone carded it on Kidizen, so I sent them an offer of $20 with free shipping. I had 80 cents into that item because I had picked it up from a local consignment store when I did this big like bulk purchase from them over a year and a half ago. And so I made a profit of $11.77. It was just really cute. I feel like, it's appropriate for the fall and winter months, but also it could be a really great piece for a Halloween costume. The next thing to sell was over on Tradesy. Y'all know I don't really sell on Tradesy. I do list things there every once in a while. It's been like half a year since I've listed anything, but this item randomly sold out of the blue and I was so happy that I did because it is literally one of my oldest listings. It was this Karl Lagerfeld blue ruffle blouse. It sold for $19.80 on Tradesy. I don't really understand their fees and their whole structure or whatever, but I had about $5 into this. And so my profit, I believe, will end up being at $10.83. This top I picked up at a thrift store that used to exist in my town. It doesn't anymore. And I remember they used to do these big fill a bag sales on like the last Saturday of every month. And so I would fill up my bag. And I remember I had filled up like 2 or 3 bags at this point. And then I saw that top on my way out and I was like, I need that. And I just paid, the price that was on there for that top, which I think was about $5. Got it home, a huge stain on it, had my husband wash it to get it out, and then listed it. Got, a decent amount of attention, likes, that sort of thing. No one ever wanted to buy it. It has been listed for so long. So the fact that someone just randomly came in out of the blue to my Tradesy account of all places and bought that, I was so thankful. So weird, but happy to see it gone. The last thing to sell on the 20th was over on ThreadUp. It was this Madewell pink dress in a size small. I believe it had kind of like a peplum-y hem. It was not cute. Like, I don't know. It wasn't really my style, which is why I didn't list it myself. And I got a payout on that item of $12.98. I had 80 cents into it because it came from that same consignment store as that brown Sherpa jacket. So I made a profit of $12.18 on that dress. Honestly, I feel like I probably would have made around a similar amount on that dress had I sold it myself. Maybe I could have made a little bit more, but I would have had to go through the pains of photographing it, storing it, listing it, all that stuff. So I was happy with that sale. This Monday is a great depiction of why it's so helpful to cross-list. Let's see, I sold on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different platforms just in one day. One of those isn't, necessarily me cross-listing, obviously, because I did not cross-list over to ThreadUp. But the fact that I was able to make sales on 5 different platforms that I cross-listed to, that's a huge testament to why I utilize List Perfectly as my cross-listing software of choice. List Perfectly is a tool that allows you to get your listings onto a bunch of different platforms really quickly. And I've also been using List Perfectly as my inventory management system. So that's where I have all of my information regarding like when I picked up an item, how much I paid for an item, where it's listed. All of that information lives within my List Perfectly inventory management system. And it's really helped me stay organized. So just a little plug for List Perfectly. If you are not cross-listing yet and you would like to try a cross-listing software, I do personally highly recommend List Perfectly, obviously, because it's something that I use every day. And I do have a 30% off coupon code that I will link down in the description below that will allow you to save 30% off of your first month, which is huge. It's a great way to try it out and see if you like it at a fraction of the cost. So moving on to Tuesday, which was September 21st, I sold on 2 different platforms, Poshmark and eBay. The first sale on Poshmark was from the brand Point Sewer, which is part of the J. Crew family. And it was this mock neck alpaca and merino wool blend sweater in like this really beautiful pink color in a size extra large. That sold for $35. I had $8 into the item. And so my profit on that item was $20. I did pick that up more like at the beginning of the summer, so I'm not surprised that it took a few months for it to sell. But, it seems like the appropriate time for something like that to finally move. The next item to sell was this Stetson plaid contrast cuff Western pearl snap button-up shirt in a size large. This was probably one of the best items that I got in my most recent men's ThreadUp rescue box. I will link that video right here. It was a rough box. Typically, I have really good luck with these men's ThreadUp rescue boxes, but this one was rough. And so with this being one of the best pieces in the box, that's saying something. This item sold for $27. My cost of goods per item from that box came out to around $5 because there just wasn't much in there that was sellable. And so at the end of the day, I made a profit on that top of $16.60. On the plus side, it was my first time ever coming across a Stetson piece. So now I know, generally speaking, like, how much they sell for, what kind of keywords to use for those kinds of items. And, if I can find it for $5 or less, I probably would pick it up again. And it did sell really quick. Like it sold within a week of me listing it. So that was another plus. And then over on eBay, I sold this pair of Diesel Zatini, that was the style name, bootcut buttonfly jeans in a size 31 by 30. These came to me in my 100-pound or 200, I think it was 100-pound. 200-pound? I don't know. Like big bulk men's ThreadUp rescue box that I purchased in the summer. I did not have the best luck with that big bulk buy either, but this was one of the better pieces that came out of it. It sold for $40. It was promoted at 1%. I had about $3 into each of those items, and so my profit on those jeans was $30.31. And again, that sold pretty quickly. I do really enjoy selling men's clothing because I feel like it does sell pretty quick once you list them. And I don't know, like typically speaking, I feel like men are just not as finicky when they're shopping. So I personally do love selling men's clothes. It may not be as much fun to like photograph and list and whatnot, but I'm not here for like the fun of photographing and listing. I'm here to make money. The next thing to sell was this pair of Asics purple gel Kayano 21 running shoes in a size women's 11. Those sold for $30. I had the buyer pay for shipping. I picked those up at a Plato's Closet when they were doing their 75% off sale, so I had $7.07 into those. I was pretty surprised that those sold as quickly as they did, and I did take an offer on them. I think I had them listed at like $40 or $50, but I was just happy to get them out. It was a really fast flip. They sold within like 3 or 4 days, and I made a profit of $17.40 on those. The next thing to sell was this Hugo Boss light blue Pima cotton polo shirt in a size large for men. That sold via offers to watchers. The offer that I sent out was for $29.90. The buyer paid for shipping. I picked those up at a local consignment store, and on that particular trip, my average cost of goods was $8.17. So my profit on that item was $17.74. Not bad for a pretty basic polo shirt. And then on Wednesday, which was September 22nd, I started off the day on Poshmark with an amazing sale. I was so happy about this sale. It was this new with tags Trina Turk clientele black tuxedo jumpsuit in a size 8. I had that listed for $150 and it did sell for my full asking price. Now, granted, it did take probably close to half a year for that item to sell, and I did price it up a little bit, but I was so happy that it did finally sell for my full asking price. I had sent out so many offers to likers, so many offers to watchers on eBay, but it did finally sell. I had about $18 into it because I purchased it at a local consignment store, and I made a profit of $102. That's what I'm talking about. If I could make a profit of over $100 on every item, that would be amazing. But I generally don't find a lot of that kind of, inventory in my area. That was a little bit of a risk, I felt like, on my end, just because Trina Turk isn't necessarily known as much for her clothing. She's known for her swimsuits. So like Trina Turk's swimsuits can fly off the shelves, but not so much with some of their other stuff. But I was like, it's a really cool piece. I'll just try it out. And I was really happy that I did. The next thing to sell was this Prairie Underground brown 3/4 sleeve jacket in a size small. This is a brand that's been on my radar for a while, but I've never found it in the wild. And so I saw that there was someone who was running like a really great sale on Poshmark. I want to say it was like a 4 for $25 sale or something like that. My 4 for $25 sale items are like really junky items. You know what I mean? It's like Old Navy and it's like no name brands and stuff like that. This person had Prairie Underground and like Patagonia in their 4 for $25 sale. So I quickly made a bundle and sent it to them. Maybe it wasn't 4 for $25. It was something like crazy though. And so I had $17.08 into this jacket once you factor in how much I paid for it, plus shipping and, sales tax and all that kind of stuff. But I sold it for $55 on Poshmark. And so I made a profit of $26.92. I don't shop a lot on Poshmark for items to resell myself. The only times that I really do are when I see that someone is running a very generous sale. But I don't generally like go through Poshmark and just like look for items, look for brands and whatnot. Like I don't really have that kind of time. But this was a really great example of how you can source on Poshmark to make some money on Poshmark. The next thing to sell was a bundle of 3 items, and this sold to a viewer named Linda. So Linda, thank you so much. She reached out to me after watching this haul video that I did of some pieces that I picked up at a garage sale, and I will link that video right here. And she was like, hey, I'm interested in these 3 pieces. And it was this pair of Carhartt brown washed duck work pants in a size 36. Those, my average cost of goods was $1.92 because they came from, like I said, a local garage sale. The next item was another pair of Carhartt pants, but these were the relaxed fit 5-pocket workwear jeans, again in a size 36. And again, my cost of goods was $1.92 because that was my average cost of goods for that garage sale. And then the other item that she wanted to purchase was this pair of Eddie Bauer brown cargo shorts in a size 36. Those had been in my most recent Men's Thread Rescue box, a really rough box like I already mentioned. So my cost of goods for those was $5. I kind of talked to her over email and said, hey, how does $65 for those items sound? Because if we were to do them direct, not through Poshmark, but like, me just paying for shipping and whatnot, I would have actually not been able to give her a very good deal because shipping on Poshmark for things close to that £5 rate is amazing. For me to have shipped those 3 items out of pocket would have probably come close to like $12-15 just because of the fact that, those pants especially were so heavy, but they didn't quite hit £5. And so she only had to pay $7 and what is it, like 46 cents, 11 cents? I don't remember how much shipping is on Poshmark, but she would have had to pay that pretty low rate. And so it worked out better for us for her to actually go through Poshmark. So we agreed on $65 with her paying, Poshmark's shipping rate. My cost of goods for those 3 items was $8.84. So after my fees and cost of goods, my total earned on that bundle was $43.16. And I do think that Linda also got a pretty great deal. So Linda, thank you so much. I appreciate you watching my videos and, making a purchase from me. You are amazing. The next thing to sell was over on Mercari, and it was this Eileen Fisher pink 100% silk soft shell tank that sold for $16. I had about $3 into it. I picked it up at a local consignment store. I made a profit of $10.64. This is another case of just because it's by a good brand, it doesn't mean it's a good pickup. This just being like a really basic shell, a basic tank not worth picking up, but you know, you live and you learn. The next day that we'll talk about is September 23rd, which was a Thursday, and I had a good number of Poshmark sales. The first one being, again, another item that's just been in my closet forever, so it felt really good to get out. It was this Pendleton wool MacDuff tartan pencil skirt in a size 14. This sold for $30 with discounted shipping of $2.46. I had just relisted it using an app called Seller Insight. I love this app so much because you can relist really fast and you get a really great look at your data and analytics when it comes to your Poshmark closet. I will link that app down in the description below, but you know, using that app, I relisted the skirt, and after it's been listed for, I promise you, at least 2 years, it did finally sell for $30, and I had about $4 into that skirt, so my profit on that item was $17.54. I remember picking this up, again, like 2 years ago, thinking it'd be really great for like the holidays, you know, you could wear this to like a Christmas party. It's just, it took forever to sell. And I don't know why. It checked off a lot of boxes. Like, Pendleton is a great brand. It obviously was made of wool. It was a bigger size. I don't know. It just took forever. The next thing to sell was also kind of a disappointment. It was by the brand Kidizen, which is a really great handbag brand. It was really popular, probably more in like the 2000s and like, yeah, like way back when, like a lot of celebrities, you know, would wear this bag and whatnot. But I think since then it's kind of dropped in popularity. It was this leather zipper shoulder bag. It was like two-tone and it was pretty dirty. Like there were a lot of stains. The inside especially was pretty messed up, just lots of stains and stuff on the lining. So I had it listed for $50. I've had it listed for a good amount of time, like probably close to a year. I have not just gotten very much attention on the bag or anything like that. So when I got a $25 offer on the item, I was like, you know what? Fine. Like, you can have it. I didn't even counter. I was like, just take it. Get it out of my house. It's a big bag, you know? I had $1.80 into it because it came from that big bulk purchase deal that I did with a local consignment store over a year and a half ago at this point. So my profit on that item was $18.20. Just because a brand was popular a while ago does not mean that it's worth picking up today. I mean, LuLaRoe is a perfect example of that. The next item to sell was by the brand Talbot's. It was this brown leather jacket, button-up jacket in a size large. This is another item that I picked up from that consignment store in a big bulk buy, but you know, the outcome was a little bit better than that Kidizen bag. This jacket sold for $40 after being relisted using Seller Insight, and I had about 80 cents into the jacket because that was my average cost of goods for clothing items from that consignment store, so my profit on the item was $31.20. Not bad. The next thing to sell was this pair of Zara basic ivory slip-on tassel loafers in a size 8. These were actually sent to me by my friend Kendra at Michigan Inspired Seller. I will link her channel down in the description below. I had purchased like a bundle of shoes from her and she just ended up sending me extra shoes. And so my average cost of goods, I believe, per pair of shoes was like $2.87. And these sold for $17 to a viewer named Angela. So Angela, thank you so much for watching my videos. I really appreciate you. And those gave me a profit of $10.73. They were listed for a good number of months, but I'm glad that they finally went to a good new home. I did have a Facebook Marketplace sale. This one was so exciting because, as some of you know, my friend Chiwon has been going through my inventory and just making sure that things are listed everywhere that they can be. And if they're not, then she'll go ahead and, you know, cross-list those items to the platforms that they're not currently listed on. And the day that she cross-listed it to Facebook Marketplace for me using List Perfectly, it sold for my full asking price of $40. So the item was this polo by Ralph Lauren, brown, 100% merino wool pullover sweater, and it sold for $40 on Facebook Marketplace. I did have about $3 into it because it was in a men's thredUP rescue box, and so my profit on that item was $34.45. I had gotten a good number of lowball offers on that item on platforms like Poshmark and eBay, but that was so exciting that literally the day she cross-listed it to Facebook Marketplace, it sold outright. So Chiwon, thank you if you're watching. I know you probably are, but you're amazing. So on Friday the 24th, I had a Poshmark sale using my closet clear out method. And if you don't know how to utilize closet clear out, which is every Friday and Sunday on Poshmark, definitely watch this video right here. I spell out for you all the different ways that I utilize it to help me make more sales on Fridays and Sundays. And so if you're interested, you can check out that video. But it was this pair of Cabby ruby gold skinny jeans in a size 2. I have actually had these in my possession for quite some time, but just got around to listing them. And they sold for $20 using my closet clear out method. And I had about about 80 cents into those because they came from that big consignment store bulk buy that I did over a year and a half ago. I did send those to ThreadUp. They did accept them, but they were not able to sell them successfully. So they came back to me, and that's why I went ahead and listed them so much later than the time that I purchased them. And I made a profit of $15.20. And they sold very quickly, which I was surprised by because they're an older cavi piece and because they're like color denim, and color denim has not been popular for a very long time now. But I do think they're very appropriate for the fall. So there's that. And then over on Mercari, I had 3 sales. This first item was a pair of Dansko black leather wedge sandals. I think in like a size European 40 or something like that. They sold for $40, which I believe was my full asking price at that time. Because again, I use Mercari Smart Pricing, and the buyer did pay for shipping. I had $7.99 into those. I believe I picked them up at a local thrift store not too long ago. And so my profit on those was $26.55. Well, fast forward about a week, and those shoes got shipped back to me because the buyer had recently moved and was trying to get her address changed, but it was after I had already shipped them out. And so it was kind of a big mess. But I contacted Mercari, and they said, okay, this is what you do. Once the shoes are back in your possession, you just refund the buyer for that original purchase, and then you can just activate the listing so it's live again, and then just have the buyer purchase them again. And that's exactly what we did. So I'm going to go ahead and count the sale because it went out to her again, actually just today, and I'm just not going to count it again in the future because this is when it sold. And so my profit on that item was $26.55. That was an example of Danskos that sold pretty quickly. Typically though, Danskos I've been sitting on like longer and longer, so I don't know. I might rethink picking them up, or I just might have to start pricing them a little bit lower than I have been. The next thing to sell, I was so excited about. It was this pair of Nike black Roshi. I don't know how to pronounce that. That was the style name. Roshi 1 high sweater boots. I have never seen boots by Nike. I heard that Nike also used to do like snowboarding boots. They don't anymore. And so if you find Nike snowboarding boots, I guess they're worth a good amount of money. These were like sweater boots. And so they were at Plato's during their 50% off sale. And I didn't get a whole ton for the 50% off sale just because the prices are still a little too high to make, good profit as a reseller. But these were only priced at like $30 at Plato's that day. So I paid $15 for them, but my cost of goods for that sourcing trip was $5.14. And so I sold them for $61, only had $5.14 into them as my average cost of goods. So my profit on those was $47.69. And they sold really fast after being listed, like within a week. Those were really cool. If you ever find anything like these by Nike, definitely snatch them up if you can pick them up at a pretty good price. The next thing to sell was a pair of Reebok printed compression shorts in a size extra small for kids. They were my daughter's. They sold for $10. I made $8.41. I love making money off of stuff that, my kids wore. There's nothing better than, earning a little bit of extra money to put into their next set of clothes for when they grow a little bit bigger. And then moving on to Saturday, which was September 25th, I sold on Poshmark this pair of Circa Joan and David Luxe Red Patent leather pumps in a size 7.5. These sold for $29. That was an offer that was sent to me, and I was so happy to get that offer. I only had $1.87 into those because I picked them up at a local consignment store, and that was my average cost of goods that day. So my profit was $21.33. Ecstatic. I have sat on those for quite some time, and if I were a betting woman, I would bet that those were purchased as part of a Halloween costume. The next thing to sell was by the brand Eloquii. I think it's Eloquii. I have not found very much by this brand, but lately I've been finding it more and more in my area. This was a pair of plaid high-rise leggings in a size 18. I sold them for $25. I got them on that same Plato's trip as the Nike sweater boots, so my cost of goods was $5.14. I made a profit on those of $14.86. The next thing to sell was this pair of UGG pink Pritchard booty shearling lined boots in a size 4 to 5 for infants. Those belong to my niece, and my sister-in-law gave them to me to list. And so they sold for $25, which I think was I think it was like $10 less than my asking price. So we made a profit of $20 on those. And then on eBay, I sold a bundle to my good friend Ricardo over on eBay. He is such a light in the reseller community and definitely a huge encouragement to me all the time. Like, he'll randomly make sales in my eBay store, but he also will like leave just such wonderful and lovely comments on my YouTube channel. So Ricardo, if you're watching, thank you so much. He purchased these 2 items from me. The first one was this new Aqua de Soy champagne scented candle. It was brand new. A friend of mine from church had given it to me for free, and I had that listed at $24.99. And then the other thing that he purchased was this new Spanish artisan handmade cross dangly pair of earrings. These were given to me from someone at my school, actually. And so those 2 items sold for a profit of $37.47. Ricardo, you are just the biggest sweetheart. Thank you so much. I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. And I promise that as soon as I'm done filming, I'm going to leave you positive feedback. I know that's something that I'm horrible at, is leaving positive feedback for my buyers. So I'm going to do that right now, right after I'm, finished filming this video. So thank you. The next thing to sell was over on Mercari. You guys know I've been selling like the most random books lately, this being one of them. This was the book Mallet Madness. Mallet instruments, in case you don't know, are the ones with like the bars and you hit them with like, like a stick with like a ball at the end. So this was a book about that for grades 5 through 6. It sold for $25. And it's something that a friend of mine who used to teach music, who used to teach choir, he gave to me for free because he was done teaching music. And so I made a profit of $21.47 on that book that he gave to me for free. Thank you, Tom. The next day that we'll talk about is the last day of sales, which is Sunday, September 26th. The first thing that sold was because of closet clear out, and it was this Anthropologie 11Z's halter neck wide leg jumpsuit in a size 6. This I picked up on that same Plato's Closet trip. My cost of goods was $5.14. It sold for $40, and so my profit on that item was $26.86. I was pretty surprised that this sold as quickly as it did because there were a good number of these listed, I feel like, on Poshmark, and I feel like I listed mine pretty high, and I used the same stock photo as everybody else, but I don't know, maybe it was because of the size, or I don't know why my listing sold before everyone else's, but I'm happy that it did. The next thing to sell was over on eBay, and it was this pair of Crocs City Lane Roca blue slip-on perforated sneakers in a size 7. They were basically just super lightweight slide-ons. They sold for $19 on eBay with the buyer paying for shipping. I had $3.99 into those. I had picked them up at a local thrift store. When I went thrifting with my sister-in-law and my friend Shiwon, they gave me a profit of $12.10, but they sold very, very quickly, like within a handful of days. So, really happy about a quick flip. The next thing to sell was this pair of J. Crew Factory green linen blend shorts in a size 00. Those had been mine. I am no longer a 00. And so all of those things have been working their way out of my personal closet and onto my reselling platforms. They sold for $10. They were promoted at 1%. I think that they had a couple flaws to them, and so my profit on those was $8.53. Ecstatic because, they were just something that was taking up space and making me feel bad about myself in my personal closet. The last thing to sell this week was the standard James purse, gray and white striped scoop neck maxi dress in a size medium. This was another item that I picked up from that Plato's trip. So that Plato's trip really, did well for me, and I picked up some really great pieces that sold very quickly. It sold for $29.90. That was an offer that I sent out to watchers. It was promoted at 1%. I had $5.14 into it. So my profit on that dress was $20.32. I feel like standard James purse has a lot of these kind of like scoop neck dresses, but the scoop neck looks really low. Like I'm always like, like, I don't know, that seems a little too risque. I'm not working with a lot up here either, so maybe that's why, but I don't know, but good luck to whoever purchased that. So let's talk about my numbers. I sold on a bunch of different platforms. Again, things to list perfectly. So over on Poshmark, I sold 18 items for a gross sales amount of $645, largely due in part to that Trina Turk jumpsuit. My average sales price actually on Poshmark this week was $35.83, which is high for me. Typically I'm selling a lot of things in that like $20 to $30 range, so that felt really cool to have a higher average sales price for the week. Once you factor in Poshmark's fees and a few shipping discounts that I offered, my total drops to $513.54. I had $81.55 as my cost of goods, and so my net profit for those 18 items was $431.99 on Poshmark, which is really great. Moving on to eBay, I sold 10 items for a gross sales amount of $253.68. That amount drops to $211.81 once you factor in, eBay's fees, promoted fees, and some shipping costs. And then my cost of goods on those 10 items was $35.28, which made my net profit from eBay $176.53. On Mercari, I sold 5 items for a gross sales amount of $152. Once you factor in Mercari's fees, that total drops to $130.89. My cost of goods for those 5 items was $16.13. And so my net profit from Mercari was $114.76. On Facebook Marketplace, I had 2 sales for a gross sales amount of $60. Facebook Marketplace fees are so little, and so my total dropped to $55.91 after Facebook Marketplace's fees. I had $10.07 as my cost of goods over on Facebook Marketplace, and so my net profit from Facebook Marketplace was $45.84. On Kidizen, I had the 1 sale for $20. Once you factor in free shipping and Kidizen's fees, that total drops to $12.57. I had 80 cents into that item, and so my net profit from Kidizen was $11.77. On Tradesy, I had 1 sale. Tradesy, like that is just not a name that comes up very often for me in these What Sold videos, but that item sold for $19.80 as my gross sales. Once you factor in Tradesy's fees, that total drops to $15.83. My cost of goods was $5 for that Karl Lagerfeld top, and so my total amount earned from Tradesy was $10.83. Last but not least, I had 1 ThredUp sale for a payout of $12.98. My cost of goods for that item was 80 cents, and so my net profit from ThredUp was $12.18. In total, I sold 38 items for a gross sales amount of $1,163.46. My profit drops to $953.53 once you factor in shipping and fees. My cost of goods for those 38 items was $149.63. So the total amount that I earned as my net profit in the week of September 20th through the 26th was $803.90, which is amazing because my weekly goal is $650, and I shattered it, and it felt really, really good. So yeah, at the very beginning of the video, we talked about just having good balance between all of the different, callings in your life. And I think I did a better job of focusing on reselling in that particular week. I do remember maybe not doing as much as I wanted with my YouTube channel, but that's just the way that it goes sometimes. And, I definitely want to invest a little bit more time and energy into my reselling business since it is Q4 now. We're in the month of October, and traditionally speaking, October and November are great months for resellers. December, not so much for clothing resellers like myself. A lot of people are focusing on picking up holiday gifts and whatnot in December, and not very many people are out there shopping for used clothing for gifts for Christmas and Hanukkah and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like in December, my sales do tend to take a little bit of a dip, but in October and November, I do want to focus on listing as much as possible so that people can buy as much as possible. I'm here for that. So that is what my sales looked like in that close to final week of September. I'd love to hear from you what kind of stuff is selling well for you right now and whether or not you were able to kick off your Q4 with a big bang. I'm hoping that we all have wonderful fourth quarters to, round out our year. And here's to hoping that y'all are doing really wonderful over on your side of the screen as well. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Bye.